All coincidences with real people are random. If they tell you that this is not the case, ignore them. Johnny Blaze had been the Ghost Rider for many years, a cursed rider who became the embodiment of vengeance at night when his soul ignited with hellfire. Every time he went out to hunt down sinners, his demonic form overtook everything human, turning him into a relentless judge. He thought he knew all the dark sides of the curse he carried on his shoulders, but true evil hid beyond his understanding. One night, when he was once again consumed by the flame of the Ghost Rider, a strange figure appeared before him. A tall man with a deathly pale complexion and eyes in which it seemed one could see infinite emptiness. This stranger stood in the middle of a desolate road. "You've achieved much, Ghost Rider," the man said, "but now it's time for a new game." Johnny was on guard. He had heard many promises and threats from demons, but this one was different. Something about his presence evoked an indescribable dread. "Who are you?" asked the rider, the flame on his skull flickering. "My name is irrelevant to you," the figure replied, "but soon you will realize that everything you knew about hell is just the tip of the iceberg." The being, calling itself the Herald of Hell, revealed to Johnny the true nature of his curse. The Ghost Rider was nothing but a pawn in a game of demons where souls were the currency. His own soul had long been bartered in infernal deals, and now it had become a key piece in a great conspiracy. "You think you serve justice," the Herald continued, "but in reality, you're part of a deal between demons that was struck long ago. Your soul is not yours. It was sold ages ago, and now a new war has started in hell over it." Every word chilled Johnny to the bone, though he had none in his demonic form. He tried to find a way out of the situation, but he realized that a game far more complex and deep was being played against him. The Herald gave Johnny a choice. He could continue to serve the forces of vengeance, but this time his tasks would change. Now, he was required to send not only sinners to hell, but also innocent people's souls mistakenly caught in his fiery chain. This was to be his new role in the Demon's War. Johnny refused, but his refusal only provoked laughter from the Herald. "You've already lost," he said. "You cannot refuse. You're just a tool. The hellfire is no longer under your control." Soon, Johnny began to notice that his motivations were changing. He could no longer control his transformation into the Ghost Rider. It now happened on its own, without his will, and with each passing night, he became more violent. He started killing people he didn't consider sinners. Blame could only be placed on the hellfire that fueled his curse. The more souls he claimed, the more power he felt inside himself. But with this power came pain, the pain of realizing that he was losing himself. Months passed, and Johnny had noticeably changed. His old principles no longer mattered to him. Now, he found pleasure in his destructive power, though every time his human side returned, he felt overwhelming guilt. He understood that his soul was almost entirely destroyed. One day, when he received a mission to annihilate an entire village of innocent people, Johnny tried to run. But the darkness that had bound his soul would not let go. He found himself amid burning ruins, holding a chain around which hellfire danced. He tried to stop himself, but the Ghost Rider no longer obeyed his will. Suddenly, the Herald appeared before him. "You thought you could escape?" he asked mockingly. "You are our weapon now. You're no longer human, Johnny. You are an executioner, and you chose this path yourself." Now Johnny was merely a shell. His soul had been completely consumed by hell. He could no longer distinguish truth from lies, sinner from saint. He had become the absolute embodiment of the evil he once tried to destroy. But the most horrifying part was that his torment didn't end. With each new victim, his pain only increased. He realized that the Herald had never told him the whole truth. This game wasn't just about his soul. It was about an endless cycle of torment. where his consciousness would constantly be torn between hellfire and the remnants of humanity that still fought within him. But that struggle was pointless. He could no longer save himself. His soul belonged to hell forever, and hell didn't let go of its victims. As the night covered the land, the Ghost Rider roared on his motorcycle, ignited with hellfire, and set out on the hunt again. But this time, he was no longer a hero. He was a demon, and no one could stop him.